Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as if pointing away. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls, years of work undone in an instant, in the calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Fella got a piece of it, though. An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. And then he falls to his death. I'm just fooling. Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines. He sets foot inside one of Celandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The calamity got him before his drinking did. Rondi always wanted his ashes scattered here. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. But just as he's getting a handle on it, the security takes him for a petty thief. Clang. Shield saves his hide. Windbags start turning up for last call. Squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop. He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome. He's a mighty fast learner. He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins. That one was Maud, the tutor. Once taught the kid good manners. He never used them, though. An old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Takes a chunk of alloy. Smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Puts him out of his misery. Robs a scumbag of his last meal. Finds the core to the wharf district. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Kid has a feeling he better get a move on. The place is starting to fall. See, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat.
running.
At last, the skyway is in sight. Whisks him where he needs to go. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch. I try to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right, except no one else showed up. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. Kid ponders what to build. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Fetching fizz is like a mouthful of nails, but the benefits are worth it. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. The Skyway. Now the kid can ride the wind to distant lands. The breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets in the fewest shots. He's focused, he's armed, and he's off. A perfect shot just happens in a flash. Solid performance. He returns with some of the materials we need. Ain't always much to say. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the biggest dump in town. Scumbag Alley. And there he is. The oldest scumbag of them all. Gershel. But calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition. said old Gershel wouldn't go without a fight. No core, no surprise. Like the gas fellas are hiding it from him. He heads for the squirt steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw. They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. Squirts don't make the best of friends, but they can be useful in a pinch. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Them squirts just don't know when to quit. Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock. No white gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing. There it is, but it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. A blustery old foreman is keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. Somehow that old forge is still standing. Inside the forge, Kid can fine-tune those instruments of his. The little Zolwood oil on that blade shines like a light. With a good length of meat gut, that bow's like new again. Kid's ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started. Odd place to find the likes of Percy the Snitch. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack. The monument's calling for it. The windbags used to be all right. Then the calamity took the floor out from under him. Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here. Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out. Couples used to walk the sundown path. The kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then, somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. So could a reckless kid, for that matter. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky. Stray valuables are lying everywhere. The kid thinks twice about risking his hide for him. Well, the path ain't exactly open to visitors anymore. See, the path was intended for leisurely strolling and such. Sky bridges link the path together. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. The calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we could do it again. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. No, they used to ship live munitions down the path. These wires to toss those things plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky when you wake them up. Quick and careful is the only way to go. In all this toil, kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the calamity? So he didn't find a core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. Kid packs a special surprise in every one of those arrows. No place better than Trapper's Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They train themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. Decent trapper wouldn't walk away empty-handed. To think a rickety place like the Shingle survived, when so little else did. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive a calamity, it had to be stab weeds. Blasted things hurt like a broken heart. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. Core's stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around is downright dangerous. Ain't no easy way out of this mess. No breaking a cage like that, but the kid tries anyway. He throws a switch, gotta find a way to spring it open. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Squirt's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interruptions. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard it pop that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from the motherland, tax-free. It's a troublesome scene to be sure. Moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. A bow and a machete, every bit as effective as the fancier stuff. Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them. Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Zealandia. It was good living here for a while. Squirt cider will toughen you right up. Too bad about the musty aftertaste. Windbag Ranch was built for gathering squirt extract in copious supply. Ain't nothing more healthful. Some folks showed up to make a fast buck with nothing but a knife. Other folks came to train their throwing arms. Still others use the place to test their finest blades. All of them down soon enough. Kid comes back from Windbag Ranch, smelling good and ripe. The dead welcome him with open arms. The calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. You don't much care to see him. Not like this. These folks never saw the calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop it, no matter what. He's got too many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Thunder brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Nor did the Bird Boy. Didn't make it. The Jawsons. They didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr. They didn't make it. But him, he survived. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? Kid does what he has to do. What do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this. We have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zulf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Ceylondia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. For Zulf, Ceylondia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We all lost loved ones in the calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. War machetes are so quick, you gotta keep a good grip on them. The cores, you remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. The lost and found. Here, Kid takes fragments of the old world and makes them whole again. All it takes is some fragments, and the Bastion makes it good as new. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Kid says a little prayer anyway. Couldn't hurt, right? Pith orchard. The place is a dead end in more ways than one. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now. And the orchard core is long gone too. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods? Or tell them off? Pith. Kid don't need favors from the likes of Pith. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Popping windbags is hard enough. No need to get the gods involved. If Kid tampered with that shrine. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Kid ain't found a core, but at least he found Zulf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zulf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. There's only one way to Cinderbrick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone. Now the force crawling with the bags. The calamity was mercy on the force. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze, or starve, or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. At least the marshals left the kid a parting gift. Kid can't hardly tell up from down after a while. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Topside. Live and wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business underground like in the old days. Cinderbrick gave him enough heat and metal to munch on for a while, but the fort ain't theirs by right. So many of those sorry things hold up inside that old fort. Kid's blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Kid's stash of grenades is there for him if things get even worse. Security's plain gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Afraid of getting burned. They trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. Bring out Brutus and Glandon and all their scumbag equals. Damn looters. Or maybe it was Glenn. The other big fella soon joins his brother, wherever they are now. The windbags finally get the message. The Skyways are a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zulf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Zulf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. Seems the only thing the calamity saved for Zulf was his smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. Catches up with a kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life, supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelandia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. Out there, kid learned to fend for himself, learn to build, learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. He saw nothing where the world used to be. The calamity happened just like that. What was I saying? Anyway. All the kid had to work with was his hammer and the clothes on his back. Through twisted streets, he ran with nothing but the city crest and an old stranger's voice to guide him.
finally arrived at Caelandia's vaunted safe haven. He and no one else. But then, all I got was more thankless work from a man who ain't even asked his name. Sure, I may be the one who dreamt up the walls and the Bastion, but the kid made them real, not me. If you're feeling low, count on the buttery flavor of our own Bastion bourbon. Anything survives a musket shot ought to be quick work for that blade. Kid ain't finished here yet. Zulf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. The memorial. Here a kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. Ever felt a Zolwood gourd, like picking up broken glass barehanded? At Zolwood Grove, marshals learned to make every shot count. The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo. Had to catch a bunch of those gourds in a single shot. The funny thing about muskets is they work best up close. The best of the best cleared the course in just a few shots. Kid probably could have made himself marshal one day.
you want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel.
The Langston River flowed free and wild till the calamity drank it all up. Maybe all that water just grew wings and flew off. Riverbanks swarming with windbags. They're so bent on finding the core, they hardly noticed the kid. Lucky for him, a certain famous ferry barge is still afloat. Send some squirts crying home as she leaves port. Maybe Nellie knows the way to the core. Maybe she can slip right past all the clamor on the coast. Or maybe not. A security skiff pulls up portside. Nellie's just another windbag to those guns. Just then, the windbags notice who she's sailing with. They try to cut her off. They try to slow her down. They try to knock her out. But Weepin' Nellie tries harder. Try as she might, though, she hits a snag. Kid's gotta help her get untangled. Favors for favors. She picked a good spot for a break, because the core's right there. Then the kid hears an unusual sound, like 100 flapping wings. Peckers. They've been watching his every move. They had their own eyes on the core. But why? Well, kid ain't got time to think it over just yet. He finds Weepin' Nellie raring to go. Turns out she's got a special surprise for when the waters get rough. She's gonna need a little help with all them peggers. Traffic things think they're king of the roost now. Rest of us only wish we could fly in times like these. Security skiffs keep on coming, starboard side. Don't seem to care what they shoot, as long as they hit something. The windbags getting even better idea. They aim to smash Weepin' Nellie to splinters. Well, it all proves too much for poor Nellie. hit the solid ground. Solid ground in picking country. They want that core real bad. Might be they want it just as bad as a kid. Kid shoes them off, knowing they'll be back. Know how many times kid nearly fell off the barge back there? Not even once. Now, listen close. You should remember this name. Why go to Prosper Bluff? Used to take an enterprising man or a plain old fool to venture out that far. The city was the most beautiful place in the world. We all knew that. But on the other hand, some folks just yearn to see the things they're told they can't. And that's why you go to Prosper Bluff, ain't it? Feel the kid hear something he ain't heard in a long while. How's it go again? Yeah, that's the one. Well, no point explaining what happens next, right? Suffice it to say, kid ain't coming home empty-handed. And besides, it's like the song goes. They'll be here before too long. We darn near celebrated when the kid got back, didn't we? Zulf never thought he'd see a fellow her again. We become fast friends. Calamity has that effect on people. But there was more to be done. There was one last core to find. A scientific journal written in Zulf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. Kid says hello, but Zulf's lost in thought. If only I'd known half the secrets of the calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. Most of the Ura never got a taste of Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here. So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal. Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either. We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive. Place is so raw, even the calamity couldn't cook it. Not all of it. Know what's better than having to sling a pistol in a fight? Having two. Savage things lurking at every turn. Pincushions ain't the worst of it either. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention. Didn't expect the kid so soon. They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight. Wallflowers survive the calamity. Best take it real slow when the pincushions are afoot. Slinger Jawson's old outpost is all that's left of him. Kid sticks to his old standbys. By now, Kid's got more needles in him than a stab weed. Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion. A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far. Kid's roused up half the wild by now. When Kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. Lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals. Hit him anywhere but the hindquarters and he only made him mad. Leave it to the kid to make time for stomping swamp weeds. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot. Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zulf and I were just wrapping up a Heated discussion. Zulf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zulf leaves us here, alone. Zulf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. When Zulf got through reading that journal, he just snapped. Started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zulf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. After Zulf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zulf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the Core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. The dead welcome him with open arms. Kid pops him good. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zulf, Aligura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gators. Now the Bastion can send him even farther, into the wild unknown. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. old Ronnie the bartender. Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Hard to get a sure footing in the bog. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung it. They say one whiff of lung blossom can make it lose its mind. Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it. A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The Bastion ain't gonna build itself. Well, not entirely. The shards got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Black rye is like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories. Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothes Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds
kinds of beasts what don't know up from down, still lurking about. These beasts, they don't like company.
Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course.
Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools.
They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit. Kid's got a mean throwing arm. Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator scraps. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. Still no sign of the shard. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen. Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? They use a kid as bait. The shard's sitting in plain view. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. He's got it, and now to finish her off. She's starting to get annoyed. Made her mad.
Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers.
kids done what needed to be done. Queen Anne's reign is over. We even got a crown jewel. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it. Can't be too careful these days. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. That Gator's a crazy gal, but so is the gal who promised to look after her. Want to keep the wilds at bay? Pack yourself a musket and a pike. To prepare for the wilds, Ceylandia's brushers practice at Camp Dauncey. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. Sometimes the course was brutal. Health tonics were off limits at Camp Dauncey. They said they made you weak. Harsh. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job. You had to find a path through the maze as quick as you could. One well-placed throw could take out several of those ugly critters. If you did all right at Camp Dauncey, you got to go to the wilds. You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs. The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds. Know how Ceylandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. The Army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The Grand Rail at Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give a kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. The Grand Rail's all grown over with things the calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. So much as one of those things slip by. Lunkheads settle in like they own the place. Takes fancy footwork on the rail. Wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. Of course, the Grand Rail's seen much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Celandian War. It was right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for it. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swamp weed central. Tried dancing side to side while holding your breath, while shooting a genuine registered armored carbine, while choking on swamp weed, while peckers trying to prick you in the eye. Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. Swamp weed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower, pincushion, mind you. first he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. "This is for you," says the man. Then wham! When the kid comes to, the man's long gone, but something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf. The Gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Sometimes a brusher's pipe just ain't enough. That's what the carbine's for. Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time. Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him. The shards are getting harder to find. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands. Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The taste of air so hot it sticks to your lungs. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Never thought we'd find so much life in all that ash. The place is inhospitable as they come. But still we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Culford Cauldron, looked down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen is waiting for him on the other side. Pops open on him like a pimple on a school day. And where there's one stink eye, there's always more. The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. Party punch is so zesty, it'll let you carry on through the worst of times. They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan. Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. So they figure they'll hold out right here, on a slab of mountain the Calamity forgot. We only found that little lair because they found themselves a little shard. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. But they ain't yet prepared for any company. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. Besides, we have to take back what's ours. Even if the beasts of the wilds won't like it. Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's game, not just ours. Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the talking. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. That's the way. The beasts of Mount Zan go all out. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zulf sure did a number on it, though. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. A pike and a galley and mortar. Now that's some terror from the high seas. That mortar's gonna leave a lasting impression. Just a couple shards left. The Quarry's gotta have one, right? Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Zealandia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes burstone quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the Calamity. Same goes for its natives, rattletails. Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The Quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nested in those rocks. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things, but there was even more to it than that. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the Quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the Quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told them the Quarry's bad news. In any case, it's fair to say the Quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core can keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards. A shard's got a fraction of a core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the Quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the Quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Barstone Quarry is Sir Lunky's head. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the Quarry alone. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. "Are you all right?" it says. It's him. "I've come to warn you," he says. "The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back." Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. "If that's the way it is," he says, then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will. Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Too bad for that. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop it, but we needed help. Our baby pecker, he don't make it. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zulf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back for the calamity. It was Caelandia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zulf knew the whole story. Sometimes a single look says it all. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Finders keepers. Now all we need is one last shard. Gotta make sure the pointy end's fastened on real tight. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. We put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. We sought solutions far beyond the city. Traveled near as far as the kids go right now. Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit. Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people. It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist. Then worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone. This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort. But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. Sabotage the Mancers' little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard. Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. For now, Kid had little choice but to pick up where the calamity left off. First things first, though, there's someone we figured needed rescuing. See ya. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor. When you've got a solid balance, you've got what you need. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard. Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him. It's a little something I've been fixing up in my spare time. It's not the time to get reckless. Found a way to keep the calamity from spreading through Sultan's Hollow. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the calamity rocks slink back into the ground. rodents are just a bump in the road. By now, every Ura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Most of the Ura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. They're easy targets. Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside. Maybe they know they've lost this. Lost to a kid. They underestimated us. That's paying gone wrong. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it. That makes us different from our people now, don't it? Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over. Suppose old Zulf should have got to know us better. Maybe I should have trusted him. Told him everything I knew. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. Too bad for them. Our guns are bigger still. There's nothing standing in his way no more. He sees the Tazzle terminals loom large on the horizon. Way out there on the edge of the world. That's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people. You had to see if everything Zulf wrote to you was true. They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back. I don't need to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember? Long reach and plenty of power. Now that's a scary combination. First step to learning the calamity cannon is knowing about the machinery overrides. Once the kid gets that last shard from Zulf, it'll all be over. I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away. But he'll be all right. The calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all. You know why Zulf went back there. All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the calamity. Zulf must be there all alone, just waiting. waiting for a kid. Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? But see it. There's another reason I've been telling you all this. When a kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the Earth planet here will go away. What happens to Zulf no longer matter. Zealandia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal. Everyone will be all right. Problem is, we'll all be gone. But we're not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity, the way things were before this story. Be your old self again. Think of all those times that didn't go your way. All of life's little setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at him. No mistakes. Anyone you've ever hurt. Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. And wouldn't that be grand? I guess there's nothing more to say. Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place, but that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is... I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless you wanted to stay here with us. Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around. The weight of the calamity, it's on our shoulders. I can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking. If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we'd still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores, and we'd take off away from here. Of course, that would mean no going back. Ever. But then again, that way all of us could leave the city. Together. You know Zulf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zulf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zulf dedicated his life to lasting peace between the Ura and Caelandia. What is he? He can't have imagined the city would try to wipe the Ura out. Zulf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid. For Zulf, this ain't a personal matter. One thing's for sure, The Ura can't be happy that the kid followed Zulf all the way home. I can see it now. The kid in one corner, and Zulf in the other. Ain't much of a fight. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright. You ain't still thinking about that whole leaving the city thing, are you?
I set my sail, fly, the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, clouds are making way for me. I'm coming home, sweet home. I see your star, you left it burning for me. Mother, I'm here. Eyes open wide, feel your heart and it's glowing. I'm welcome.
Kid's probably dealt with Zulf by now.
Sweet home.
It reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days? Hey, kid. Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up. That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions. Hey, kid. You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you.
We made it. Zulf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes.
It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon. No matter what happens next, you're done good. I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment. The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time before any of this. Might be we'll forget everything you've done and each other. Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see it in the next one. Say, Landia, we're coming home.